This is going to be your weekly tarot and oracle forecast. If it's meant for you, it's meant for you. We're going to take a look at the energies for the upcoming week, break it down day by day, and let you know how to navigate. So I'm really curious to know how you're feeling. Please let me know in the comments what's your word of the day or word of the week. It's certainly been an interesting time, and I think I used that word interesting what feels like a million times in the zodiac readings that I just posted to YouTube. Because interesting encompasses so many different things. You know, I feel like we've had a roller coaster of emotions. I do feel like there's been this pull backwards a little bit. And let me know in the comments if you're feeling it. There's these emotions that are coming to the surface, okay? And there might even be some obsessive feelings coming up. And that's because I believe Venus and Scorpio will bring a bit of intensity and possible obsessiveness with someone or something. You know, there's definitely an attachment feeling, okay? Possibly not wanting to let go of something. And this is what makes things really difficult when, of course, we are trying to go onwards and upwards. Now, you know, the next week and a bit, and I'll talk about this, of course, in the next week's video, but I would just say that you have to be mindful of the fact that we are in the pre-shadow of Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde will commence on December 13th, but again, we're in the pre-shadow period. So if you're noticing technology glitches, miscommunications already, I wouldn't be surprised, okay? So, you know, December 4th, Venus in Scorpio. December 12th, we have the 12-12 portal, also the new moon in Sagittarius. And like I said, I'll talk about that next week. And Mercury retro. And we're leading towards the holidays. So naturally, we're getting into some really busy times and stressful times. I always want to remind people, just be careful around the holidays. Don't assume anything about anyone. Recognize that not everybody celebrates the holidays the same ways. Not everybody has an easy situation. You know, just be mindful of what other people may be going through behind closed doors, okay? But we definitely have a lot to talk about this month, and we'll get into that in later videos. But let's sort of see what's going on here. We're going to take a look at some overall messages for the week. And we have first light, beginning a new cycle. I love that. I really do, because I think that's something we need to recognize, that we are in new light and new energy. And that's when we get scared. That's when we want to pull ourselves backwards, right? And I don't know. I don't want to go backwards. I don't know about you. I understand the comfort zone. I understand the emotional pain body, but going backwards doesn't make sense. See, closing door. For one door to open, we have to close another. Wow, you can't even make that up, okay? And let's get one of these cards here. These are Moon Oracle cards. Sign of hope, safe passage, changing fortune, divine intervention. Wow, I really love that. You know, I think the word hope has been coming up a lot lately. Like, people have been saying to me, Kelly, how do I have hope? And without me getting into a super long story, let me assure you that there is hope. You know, I've been reflecting a lot lately on how many years I've been doing this. A long time, okay? And when I say doing this, I don't just mean reading tarot or making videos or being on social media. I'm talking about my reawakening. I know exactly what you're going through. You know, I'm thinking about when this sort of started back in 2015, 2016, 2017. I mean, look how many years ago that is. And I've been through a lot, ups, downs, but you know what? All onwards and upwards. Even if I took a step forward and 2 steps back, I always push myself forward. I'm a believer of, if I got to make it or break it, I'm going to make it. And that's why I always say I'm never going to let you give up, ever. Because I know what it's like to struggle, and I know what it's like to push forward. And if I can do it, you can do it. And so therefore, I want to give you some hope. I want to show you that anything is possible. Okay? So I'm going to put these cards to the side. And if we need them again, we can always go back to them. But let's take a look at what's going on for the week. Okay? Now let's start off with Monday. The end of a tough cycle approaches. So this is what I'm saying. Closing doors, opening new ones, right? And on Tuesday, we have a fiery climax approaches. I definitely believe that. I think that there are some situations where you'll notice that they feel quite fiery. You know, there's a sensitivity in the air, if that makes sense. And on Wednesday, luck is on your side. New moon in Sagittarius. I have to say, for the past while, I've been really feeling new moon in Sagittarius, and I believe I said that in the full moon Zoom readings that I did for the previous month. You get a little personalized reading when you attend my full moon Zooms, and for whatever reason, I was just already feeling new moon in Sagittarius. You know, it's been a while now. Now, the new moon in Sagittarius is happening on December 12th. And again, that's in a later video for next week. But I would just say to you that I think there is going to be a shift that happens on that date. You know, I don't feel anything negative about it. I actually feel very positive about 12/12. But we will see. I mean, look, step out of your comfort zone. Step out of your comfort zone. Do you know how important that is? In order to get the new, you have to release the old. And as I always say, if the comfort zone's so comfortable, why do you want to leave it? Right? It wouldn't make sense to leave it if it was so great. But you know that you need to. That's how growth happens. That's how change happens. And, you know, I was talking on live yesterday very deeply, and I appreciate all of you listening to me about these tough conversations about growth and change and relationships and how to spark new energy and how to get through the tough times. And honestly, it's through trial and error. It's by doing. I want you to think about children, or I want you to think about school. You would never tell a child to stop trying. You would never say to a student that they can't write that test and succeed, or do that project and do well. But how does a child learn? They learn by doing. And if they fall when they're learning to walk, they get back up and they go again. And somehow as adults, we lose that. And I'm so saddened by that. You know, think about the innocence of a child. You know, they don't know any different, right? But as adults, we're so programmed and we're so swayed by other people or societal norms. I mean, my goodness, I could talk to you about this for hours. But I would just say, don't get in your own way. Don't stop believing. Don't stop putting yourself out there for new experiences. Now, here's the thing. On Friday, balance spirituality and practicality. This is where I always say to you, you know, you marry potential, you divorce reality. You have to stop looking at the potential of something and say, what is the current situation? Now, on live yesterday, part of that discussion was about, is the car in the driveway or is the car in the garage? And, you know, that's a really tough conversation to have. So if you didn't hear that conversation, my apologies. I know that that statement can be triggering, but at the same time, there's a truth to it. And you have to recognize that we love potential. Of course we do. We know that people are good people at heart, but that doesn't mean they know how to navigate energy. Sometimes people just don't know any better, especially if we're talking about relationships here or people who test your boundaries, you know, whatever the situation may be. Not everybody knows, unfortunately. I always say we can't regulate people, right? People are always going to do what they think and feel is best. You're not going to be able to tell them any different. And that's why sometimes it's so important to just focus on yourself and take the energy off everyone else. Now, on Friday, we want to look at the reality of a situation so that we can navigate, right? And that energy here on Friday actually is leading us, like I said, towards that new moon the following week. Ask yourself, what are your intentions? Who do you want to be? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? And especially in regards to 2024, you know, I've been talking about this a lot. And also, just as a reminder, the 2024 tarot forecasts are now posted to my website. And I love doing them. I love looking ahead at the year, seeing what energies are, you know, up for grabs, so to speak. Now, on Saturday, we have nothing will come of this situation. This means don't worry. Worrying will do nothing for you. See Jimmy in the background? He confirms. The kiddie parkour commences, I have a feeling, in the background. And on Sunday, we have a new romantic cycle begins. How beautiful is that? Okay. And a sneak peek at the following week. Don't let pride get in your way. Don't be stubborn. Don't get in your own way. I think a lot of people have been asking me lately also, Kelly, how do I not get in my own way? How do I let this go? Or how do I spark that new energy? And that's why I keep saying it's so important that you just keep putting yourself out there. And you know what? Let me just remind you of one other thing. Let me have a mini TED Talk here for a moment. And that is, whenever I tell you to put yourself out there, it's not because I want you to just replace a person from your past. It's not about a person. It's not about you finding a person. It's about you learning what you like and what you don't like, learning your boundaries, getting new experiences to help you grow and change. And whatever's meant for you, it's meant for you. Nothing that's meant for you is going to pass you by. I think the fear of moving on is that people will forget us. Trust me, they're not going to forget you. You're not forgettable. Okay? So here we go. Let's take a look back at the tarot with Monday. The end of a tough cycle approaches. I've been using this owl deck and I just absolutely love it. You know, every once in a while I kind of have a little mini favorite for a while, and this one is my favorite right now. But the end of a tough cycle approaches. There's the 10 of Swords. You couldn't have any more swords in your back. At what point do you say, I can't go any more rounds? Whatever it may be. Love, work, family, friends. A fiery climax approaches on Tuesday. The Hierophant. You know, something has been a long time coming. The Hierophant is about methodical steps, okay? Slow and steady. But I almost feel like there has been that slow and steady, and yet there's like a sudden something, you know, a sudden bang, just a sudden boom. And not in a bad way, just something that's really going to reveal itself or change something in your energy or your situation. And I've been talking about that lately with like the light. You know, we keep seeing the light bulb or the hangman, which is about enlightenment or a spark of something. Expect the unexpected. I mean, a storm brewing. My goodness, that storm card, if it comes out today again, my goodness, I'll be like, whoa. But here's the thing. Something is going to come in that's going to somehow shift you, okay? And luck is on your side. Why are you conflicted about this luck? Like, why do you debate whether you can have it? You have to ask yourself the root. Why do you worry about whether you can have something good? Now, I understand that's past traumas, triggers, and hurts. But again, we have to put ourselves out there. We've got to spark new energy. We have to allow the good energy to come in. You know, it's like phone storage. How can you have new photos or videos on your phone if you've got the old ones hanging around? You know, with every step you take, you have to release an old step. And sometimes that means just cleaning up your phone. I don't know who needs to hear that right now, but maybe you got to clean up your phone. Now, on Thursday, step out of your comfort zone. Do you want a new emotional beginning? How cute is this card? You know, this is about brand new beginnings, and this is also about filling your own cup. So let's see, balance spirituality and practicality on Friday. There we go. Four of Swords. You need healing. You need healing. You might even need a break, a pause. Okay. And let's see, on Saturday, another ace, Ace of Wands. Stop worrying. There's a spark here. There's something new. There's a purpose. There's a passion. Okay. So two aces are beautiful. I mean, look at endings, beginnings, right? Two of Wands, a new romantic cycle begins. This is telling you to leave your comfort zone, right? Leave that comfort zone. This could be a card of travel, essentially making a decision. And I always ask you the same question every single time. Are you in the old? Are you in the new? And I just said to you about that, don't let pride get in your way. I said, don't block yourself. There's the conflict. Okay. 5-5. I've been seeing a lot of 5-5s, right? Which is tower moments, big changes ahead. We have two aces over here. And by the way, the Hierophant is a 5. So look, 5-5-5. Big changes. Some of you may be having tower moments. I'm really curious to know if you're going through that right now. And I have a feeling the answer is yes, even if there are many tower moments. Don't let pride get in your way. What's the conflict? Because there's conflict here, there's conflict here. Okay, that's why I'm saying this energy right now is very up and down. You know, it's emotional, it's magnetic, but in a way that is not necessarily the most positive, because where are you being pulled? You have to ask yourself, where are you being pulled and why? And why is that pull to the past so attractive? And I know that that can be a triggering question, but in regards to love, in regards to friends, work, it doesn't even have to be attractiveness as like physical attractiveness. What I'm talking about is like, why are we so drawn to something that's not good for us? And at what point do we say, you know, I can't go any more rounds? I talked about this in the live yesterday too, the really deep one. We had two deep cards, if you recall. You know, where I said, I know when someone has hit their low, okay? People will come to me and say, Kelly, I've hit my low. Okay, well, this is when you know you've hit your low, when you'll never entertain that thought, that feeling, that situation ever again. Now, ever again. I say that in the moment. Never say never, but you have no way of knowing. I always say, I don't know what I'm going to have for dinner in 2068. But I do know in that moment when I've gone enough rounds, I don't want to entertain it anymore. And I do everything possible to make that change. So you have to ask yourself, how many rounds do you want to go? And I support you no matter what you do, no matter what timeline you're on, because again, we're all on different timelines. Just because it took me X amount of years doesn't mean that it has to take you the same amount of time. You're you, I'm me, everybody else is them. Don't worry so much about what everybody else says. And I think that's another line or another reminder during this holiday season. You don't have to compare yourself with anybody. I think that's it's very much a societal thing where we feel we have to compete, or we feel like we have to be at the same pace. And no, you don't have to be. You're you, and it's okay to be you. The people who are your people, they know. They're with you. And the people who aren't, well, they aren't. And that says a lot. You know what I mean? I always say, you know, if someone doesn't like me because I pull tarot cards, that says a lot about them, more about them than it does about me. It means they're not my people, and it's all good. So just remind yourself that, you know, everything is going to be okay. Sorry, I got a kitty cat who's trying to get in on the mix here and knock the table. But let's go back to Monday here. Let's take the Oracle cards. We got the Ten of Swords, the end of a tough cycle. Come on. I'm laughing. How many times can I have this card? I told you earlier, the Storm card. There's a storm brewing. And what does a storm do? It cleanses. It liberates. Okay? It means something is over and done and possibly the end. Right now, anyways. Okay? Wow. All right. On Tuesday, the Hierophant. Something has ended. The end is the beginning. You can't have new beginnings without endings. 8, 8. There you go. Now, interestingly enough, the year 2024 is a number 8 year. Always remember that 8, you know, as above, so below. Your inner world is reflected by your outer world. Your outer world reflects your inner world, right? There's a connection there. Okay. On Wednesday, 5 of Wands. There's the Hierophant. The universe is like, I said what I said. Look, we're taking methodical steps. Slowly but surely. We got to get through the conflict. You know, boundaries are not made overnight. Conflict isn't solved overnight. It takes time. And that's what I was saying earlier about how many years I feel like I've been going through this process. And I know that I will forever be going through this process. We are lifelong learners. We will never stop. We will never stop being tested, by the way. You know that, right? You're always going to be tested. And I always want to remind you that even when we make moves, that's great. Celebrate making those moves. But don't get too comfortable, because you're always going to have to make moves. It's not like we just make a move and then the universe rewards us and then we're done, you know, and then everything else just comes rolling in. It's a matter of time. It's a matter of work. It's a matter of effort, right? So the Hierophant just reminds us that we're going to keep on keeping on. There's another set of stairs to take now. You know, it's almost like you get up the stairs and you turn a corner. Funny side note story. I don't know how many of you have ever been to Capri in Italy. Okay. I'll never forget the story about how I was there and everybody takes the lift to the top. If you know anything about Capri, you know that that's not a short distance. We didn't know where the lift was. Don't know how we didn't know. We asked people. I don't know. We didn't know. We ended up walking the entire way up in like 40-degree heat. Okay, when I say 40-degree, I mean Celsius. I'm in Canada, so we go by Celsius. And all I remember was that every set of stairs we went, there was another set of stairs. Every corner we turned, we would see a sign that says, oh, you're almost there. Yeah, we weren't almost there, okay? I'll never forget that day. It was, wow, it was such a climb. But then what's the satisfaction you feel when you get to the top? It's amazing. It's incredible. You see the view, right? You celebrate, you have a gelato, you have a coffee, whatever it is, right? It's like the cake analogy. You climb that cake, you climb that tier, you get to the top, you celebrate, and then, you relish in the moment. Don't forget to celebrate your milestones. But again, once you celebrated, you get up and go, okay? All right, let's look at Thursday here. Ace of Cups, brand new emotional beginning, leaving your comfort zone. We talked about that, right? Twice. Yes, the time has come. It is. It is time. Do you feel it? Are you ready? And on Friday, things will unfold. Okay, this is my point. You achieve something. It's time. It's time to make a move. And then you got to heal. You got to heal. You got to let things unfold. You have a major opportunity for something. It doesn't mean you're going to achieve it overnight. Doesn't mean, this is instant gratification. It means keep going, keep working. But relish in those moments where you need the break, okay? So on Saturday, we have Ace of Wands, that spark, that purpose, that passionate new beginning. There's the moon. I told you, we're preparing. I want you to trust your intuition. I want you to be in your feminine energy and receive all the goodness that's coming your way. And, okay, on Sunday, the stallion, leave the comfort zone, break free, strong emotions, yes, desire, unleash the inner beast. That could be quite fun. And let's see what else we need to know here. Sneak peek at the following week about that conflict or that pride. Don't let pride get in your way. Enough with the power struggle. Okay, the Wolverine is like, should I, shouldn't I? Don't do that to yourself. Be fierce. Be assertive. Fearless. If you only knew what was on the other side of fear. Determined. Okay? Wow, what a reading today. I swear these readings are getting deeper every single time. And I think right now we should take a Power of Surrender card just to see what we need to surrender or surrender to. I have to say, I think this is probably one of my most favorite decks. I love the Power of Surrender. And what do we need to know? What do we need to surrender or surrender to this week? Surrender your fear of intimacy. How many of you are in that boat? I have a feeling many. You are ready to let love in, compassionately identify and begin to release any patterns that stop you from opening your heart. Okay. Surrender to effortlessness. Stop pushing so hard. The art of living means going with the flow instead of trying to force the river. See, this is where people get confused. You don't just sit back and do nothing, okay? However, you set out the intentions for whatever it is you want, and then you let go, you let God, you let the universe take the wheel, right? Stop trying to control the who, what, when, where, why, and how, because that gives you resistance. Just because you want something doesn't mean that that's what the universe is going to give you. It's going to give you what you need. Surrender to play. There's my point. Take a break from overthinking a goal. Do something fun. Play is a time of recreation and rejuvenation. Wow, I really hope this resonates with you. Thank you so much for listening to this reading. If you'd like to get a 2024 Tarot and Oracle forecast, it's posted on my website. If you'd like to do a personal reading with me, I still have some availability, a few spots left before Christmas. So let me know if you'd like to do a personal reading. If you'd like to book in the new year, you're welcome to select a date then too. Thank you again. I always appreciate a like, a comment, a subscribe. It means the world to me. Thank you very much, and I wish you the most amazing week.